Welcome to NFTE's Targeted PD Seminar Series. The purpose of these seminars is to provide a review in content, instructional activities, and NFTE best practices. These seminars are useful for teachers who have recently gone through NFTE University, as well as for veteran teachers looking for content and teaching refreshers. On this webinar, we will discuss how to develop sales projections or estimates. By viewing this seminar, you will be able to explain the key factors that influence sales projections, understand how to evaluate sales projections, and identify NFTE best practices and suggestions for teaching and helping students build their own sales projections. Before our discussion on estimating sales, let's review the NFTE units of learning. Students learn about sales in Chapter 9.2 of the 11th edition textbook. This falls in our 4th unit of learning. We preview sales projections in Unit 3 to complete the income statement. Sales is in every aspect of our business planning process, as it is the key to being in business and making a profit. Take a moment to review the learning objectives for the marketing and sales unit of learning. You may notice that sales estimates or forecasts are explicitly described in the 4th objective. This objective outlines how important information is from market research in making effective sales forecasts or estimates. So we aren't just guessing at random. Sales estimates are also known as forecasts or projections, as you've already learned. These are important because they represent the goals a company sets to sell a product or service. Sales estimates impact revenue, but also expenses. For example, if a company projects or estimates selling a certain number of units, they will need to invest and spend money on materials and inventory to produce that product. Most companies revisit their sales projections at least 1 to 2 times a month to benchmark and reassess their projections based on new information. The fact that sales estimates change based on new information or information so quickly is just one of the challenges, not only for our students, but also for real entrepreneurs. Estimates can just be unpredictable. Entrepreneurs go on their best guesses based on market research and information that is readily available. In our classrooms, we struggle with getting good market research information to base some of our estimates on. There are lots of different ways and suggestions on estimating sales because of all these uncertainties. In this webinar, we'll review the key factors that influence our sales estimate to help offset some of this variability. So let's take a look at the 4 main sales assumptions that we use to come up with a more realistic sales estimate. The first 2 require a little bit of math. We'll describe the steps here and then use an example in the following slides. Full capacity. This is the total number of units a business would produce if it ran all the time. You can calculate full capacity per month by using the following 3 steps. First, find the maximum number of hours worked per week. Second, find the maximum units produced per hour. Third, multiply the maximum number of hours and the maximum number of units from steps 1 and 2 by 4 weeks, a month, to get the total number of full capacity sales. The second assumption is market share. Just like the word describes, this is the share of the market that a business has, and it's the total number of units you should be able to sell based off of your potential market. This factor relies on the primary market research and market analysis that students do in the classroom. Since most student businesses are still too new to estimate market share, we generally use a percentage of 2 to 5% to estimate sales per month based on market share. The first step in calculating sales based off of market share is to find the total potential market. The second is to take that potential market and divide it by 12 to get the maximum sales per month. And the third is to take that maximum sales per month and multiply it by your estimate of the market share. We could use 2 to 5% to get the sales per month. The third factor is seasonality. Of all the factors that affect sales projections, seasonality is one that students understand and account for most. But seasonality is not just one-sided. If I am a student and I go on vacation from June to August and shut down my business, there's a seasonal effect there too. The last factor is time to market, and relies on the company's marketing and promotions to get market awareness. The idea here is that no one will sell at full capacity or even close the day after they start selling, unless they started marketing much earlier. In your classroom, students will tend to underestimate the amount of time to market for their businesses. As a general rule of thumb, we use 3 to 6 months from when you start selling and marketing. In addition to the 4 sales assumptions, entrepreneurs need to make sure they cover fixed expenses at a minimum month to month. They can identify the number of units they need to sell to just cover these expenses, where profit equals 0, and this is called the break-even point. To calculate the break-even units, you need to divide the monthly fixed expenses by the contribution margin per unit from your economics of one unit. When estimating sales, your student should make sure at the very least they are selling at break even. Let's work through an example to reinforce the concept. Charlotte Wilbur designs websites for small to mid-sized companies in her community. She started her business about a year ago, and it's grown by word of mouth. From her market research, she estimates 250 potential clients. Last year, she sold a total of 10 designed websites. Charlotte is also a student, and she estimates the following time schedule: 60 hours for school and homework, 58 hours for extracurricular activities and sleep. It takes her about 27 hours to complete a website, and she calculates her monthly break-even at 2 websites per month. Charlotte needs your help to estimate the number of units that she will sell in an average month during the school year and how many she can sell in the summer. There's a lot of information here, so let's break it down. We've color-coded the sections based off of the 4 sales assumptions that we had. Purple is time to market, red is market share, green is seasonality, and blue is full capacity. So we know that she started her business about a year ago. Based off of what we know about time to market, we know that she probably has had enough experience to go to market. And in fact, she's even sold 10 designed websites. We know that she has 250 potential clients, and again, that she sold 10 designed websites. For full capacity, we know that in a week, Charlotte spends 118 hours on schoolwork and extracurriculars and sleep. That means she has 50 hours remaining to run her business. But that's just during the school year, when she dedicates 60 hours for school and homework. What about the summer months? Lastly, Charlotte only needs to sell 2 websites a month in order to break even. So let's take a look at Charlotte's sales assumptions that will inform her sales estimate. Full capacity for her during the school year is 50 hours per week. She can complete 1 site in 27 hours. That means in 1 week, she can make 1.85 or about 2 websites. In 1 month, she can make at full capacity 2 times 4, 8 websites. If we look at her sales assumption based on market share, we know that her potential market size is 250. The maximum sales she could make based on her potential market size is 250 divided by 12 per month. So that's 21 maximum sales per month. If we take that 21 websites and multiply it by our assumed market share of 5%, we see that her sales based on market share is much lower, at 1 website per month. Charlotte's web design business is not seasonal, but what we do learn from her scenario is that in the summer, she doesn't have school or homework, so she has an additional 60 hours to dedicate to her business, doubling the amount of time she has to produce. So she could spend more time developing websites during the summer. And finally, time to market. We know that Charlotte has been in the market for 1 whole year and has had enough time to build brand awareness. She's also sold 10 units in year 1. She can use this to develop a growth rate. So let's take a look at what her sales projections look like. Based on her sales assumptions, Charlotte projects to sell 36 units in her 2nd year of running well-spun web design. You'll note that she did take into account her break-even units of 2 websites for several months. At this point, she will not make a profit, but she also won't be losing money. Her highest months are below full capacity. These are September and October, at 6 units each. However, surprisingly, she does not do more work in the summertime, even with the additional non-school hours. Based on her time to market and experience from the first year, she feels confident that she can sell 36 units. Remember that the sales estimates, like the business plan, are iterative, and Charlotte can come back at any time and revisit her sales projections and assumptions. Now that we've reviewed sales projections and assumptions, let's look at Nifty's instructional flow and how it all fits together. In this unit of learning, the only required experiential activity is the magazine activity. But specifically for estimating sales, you may choose to use the Wellspun Web Design case study that we just reviewed. After that, you can review and teach content from Chapter 9, Section 2, using Nifty tools like the textbook, the chapter PowerPoint, and the workbook for additional practice. Next, guided instruction includes using case studies, or having students review student sample business plans, specifically the sales assumptions and projections section. Have students analyze and present how they would change or improve the sales projections, and why. To more formally assess learning, you can have students complete Performance Task 4C and assess if students need any reteaching or additional practice. Finally, the ultimate demonstration of learning is your students' ability to complete their own sales assumptions and projections for their businesses. These sales projections should be good estimates that factor in market research and a good understanding of time to market. To close out this session, we recommend the following next steps. Reread Chapter 9.2 for more content review and for additional exercises that you can integrate into your classroom. Review the Sales Estimates NFTE University presentation. That's Day 3, PowerPoint 3. Look through the experiential activities and assessments for additional support. And finally, ask your NFTE program manager for more support if needed. Thanks for viewing this targeted PD seminar. We hope you found some useful tools to help you teach estimating sales to your students.